I've been brutalized out here.
Crystal Ross hasn't always been like this. 7 years ago, she was working as a nurse, but her life took a 180 after being hit by a car and becoming physically dependent upon her abusive partner.
He introduced me to heroin.
Recently, she tried to get clean, but once she was done treatment, no one had housing for her.
I don't want to use drugs anymore. I don't want to be out here anymore. I want my life back more than anything. But every time I'm this close, they keep saying, the system's broken, Crystal. I don't want to die. I want to go home to my babies.
Corey Lynn Campbell says she's been living rough on Victoria's streets for 30 months now, a mother of 4 and grandmother of 1.
Have you ever been offered a house?
Never once have I been offered a house, not even a wet building, and at this point I'm so cold out here I wake up screaming and crying. Every day I would take a wet building just to have somewhere to get out of this cold. I'm tired. I'm one of the strongest people I know, and I am ready to kill myself. Please tell me how this has happened.
Campbell feels abandoned, especially after being given hope like this.
I feel there's a very good chance that by winter at the very latest, we'll see everyone who's on our streets, starting with Pandora, off our streets and in a better place.
Our Place in the city had been assured by BC Housing that it would try to find housing for the majority of those sheltering on Pandora. As a result, the city began sweeps, then put up fencing. Check News is now learning that BC Housing offered not housing, but shelter spaces to 60 people, half accepted. What's left on the streets of Victoria, service providers say, are the most broken of the broken. Take Michelle Hines.
I've been on the street on and off for 8 years.
Victoria has been her home for the past 40 years. Before a head injury, she worked with Service BC trying to help homeless people before she found herself homeless.
Every person that's out here is worth saving. That's what I think. And everybody should be prioritized. And those of us who've been out here the longest should be housed as soon as possible.
Hines is one of the many acute cases of severe mental health disorders and addiction that may not fit into just housing.
Now what I'm faced with is where am I sending them?
Outreach worker Teresa Reeves says the problem is that private treatment centers only take a select number of government-funded clients.
I could fill up your treatment center if they would allow me. We need to increase those government-funded beds. These people deserve a chance, just like anybody else. This is what we just had an election about. Where are all these detox beds and where are all these treatment beds that our governments have told us that we're going to build?
The Minister of Health told Check News in a statement that her government is adding new services without specifics. What's left is the jarring truth.
And we're still going to lose good people.
That unless more addiction, mental health, and low-barrier housing is made available, the tragic cycle and the visible suffering on our streets is only going to continue.